If not, maybe I can interject here with a few points. Dato', you mentioned a lot about the federal constitution and how it's very important. But isn't the judiciary the ultimate guardians of the federal constitution? And in that sense, if you could comment about the extent of our judiciary independence and what we can do to restore that.
Yeah, I think what I can say in relation to elections is what was disappointing was the election. Let me talk about that. Election petitions. All, if not most, well, I think maybe say for one or two, all were thrown out on technical grounds. And I've seen some of those petitions. They had real evidence of fraud, of threats, and there's all sorts of things were going on. Okay, the last elections, because it was so desperate for all parties, there was a lot of stuff going on, right? So my quarrel there is then if these people can't take their case to court and it's thrown out on a technicality, not only that, they awarded a huge amount in costs, almost to discourage people from coming to court. Then what do you expect? A poor candidate who wants to serve the country, runs for elections, feels there's a problem, goes to court, he gets a $50,000 order of costs against him. What will he do next time? Will he dare to challenge? No. So, for me, I think that was very, very disappointing. And you're absolutely right. It is the judiciary who is the guardian of the federal constitution. In fact, the judiciary is what stands between abuse of power and the citizen. Doesn't allow a citizen's rights to be taken away. That's the judiciary's role. And I think we are suffering the consequences still of the crisis of 1988. Do you remember that crisis, the judicial crisis they called it? And I remember at that time, the bar was fighting very hard when the Lord President was removed. And we said, be careful, because you're messing with a very important institution. But a lot of public never supported us, because the country was doing well. You know, economically doing extremely well. Everyone said, yeah, it's a small thing, like just, let it be. But till today, we're suffering the effects of that. Now people are saying, hey, we should have done something then. So what I'm saying is, before other institutions are destroyed as well, we really have to stop the rot. It will come back to bite us. It will even come back to bite the people who caused it. I can guarantee, okay? So, I think you're right. Judiciary is absolutely critical, and they have to appreciate their role. So I'm hoping, in all these cases where the opposition is facing, I mean, goodness gracious, you know how much resources are wasted on that? I've been in court to see half of these things. Public money wasted. Ridiculous. So I'm hoping the judiciary will take a stand. And so let's see what happens with all the cases. I mean, Teresa Koch, I thought her video was not great, but you don't put someone behind bars because she doesn't produce a video that's not very funny, okay? And number two, they don't have a sense of humor, they don't understand satire. What about? That's a problem, isn't it? So, these wrongs have to be righted, because I feel sometimes that it's spinning out of control at home, these issues. And they better get their act together, actually. If we're going to hand our children, and that must be our goal, a better Malaysia than what we had, I think President Obama himself said it, then we need to do something now. And that's why I'm urging everybody to speak up, everyone at home. Speak up. Doesn't matter how high you are or low you are, speak up. As I said, the BTN, don't walk out. Next time you stand up and say, excuse me, which history book are you reading? Have you heard of the Peranakan culture? You know how old that is in Malaysia. So to me, you've got to challenge these premises. That's what we have to do.